Have you ever felt manipulated, used, or drained of every ounce of your emotional energy? Have you ever found yourself questioning your sanity, wondering how someone could treat you so poorly, yet make you feel like you're the one with the problem? If you've ever been in a relationship where someone constantly takes and never gives, where their drama becomes your burden, or where every single day feels like a battle, then this video is for you. It's time to break free from the cycle of emotional abuse and manipulation. Today, I'm going to share with you 13 clever ways to deal with toxic people, using the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy, techniques that have stood the test of time for thousands of years, but are more relevant than ever in today's world. We're going to dive deep into the heart of manipulation, control, and emotional warfare, and arm you with the tools to protect your peace and take back your life. Relationships today, whether romantic, familial, or even friendships, can be incredibly toxic. We live in a world where people are conditioned to manipulate others to get what they want. Toxic individuals will drain you dry, leaving you feeling exhausted, powerless, and questioning your self-worth. But here's the truth: they don't control you. You have the power to rise above their tactics and take control of your emotional well-being. This is exactly what the Stoics understood: control what you can and let go of the rest. In this video, we'll uncover 13 powerful strategies rooted in Stoic philosophy that will help you handle toxic people like a warrior. We're not talking about passively accepting abuse. We're talking about taking bold, decisive action to protect yourself, reclaim your peace, and become emotionally bulletproof. If you find this video helpful and want to continue receiving content that can transform your life, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel today. Let us help you build a stronger, more empowered life. Certainly, here's the expanded and rewritten version of the text, tailored for a more engaging and accessible tone, while keeping the core message intact. Number 1, recognizing toxic behavior. Let's start with a key concept that, although should be obvious, can often be hard to pinpoint: identifying toxic behavior. I want you to pause for a moment and really reflect. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone constantly makes you feel like nothing you do is ever quite good enough? Maybe it's a friend, a partner, or even a family member. They seem to criticize every little thing you do, second-guess every decision you make, and somehow, they always manage to position themselves as the victim in every situation. Does that sound familiar? You might even find yourself apologizing when you haven't done anything wrong. That's manipulation in its purest form, a textbook example of toxic behavior. These individuals are like emotional leeches. They drain your energy, sap your motivation, and leave you feeling depleted, but they do it so subtly that you don't even realize it until you're completely worn out. Toxic people are masters at making their attacks seem innocent. It might come in the form of those harmless jabs or seemingly lighthearted comments, yet they are designed to erode your self-esteem and confidence. You might hear things like, "I was just joking," or "Why are you being so sensitive?" But don't be fooled by these words. They are carefully crafted forms of emotional manipulation. One of the most telling signs of toxic people is their consistent need to play the victim. They'll twist every interaction to make you feel guilty for merely standing up for yourself. You've likely heard lines like, "I can't believe you do this to me," or "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." That, my friend, is manipulation at its finest. They want to confuse you, make you doubt your own instincts, and lower your defenses. The first and most crucial step toward freeing yourself from this dynamic is to recognize these behaviors for what they truly are: emotional abuse. It's not a case of a bad day or a simple misunderstanding. It's a calculated attempt to control you. Once you can see through the mask they wear, you can begin to take the necessary steps to protect your emotional and mental well-being. Here's a rule of thumb to remember. If you find yourself constantly justifying someone's behavior to others, or worse, to yourself, that's a huge red flag. Healthy relationships don't require you to explain away mistreatment. Toxic relationships do. Number 2, understand it's not personal. Now, here's something that might surprise you, but it's one of the most liberating truths you can internalize. Toxic behavior is never truly about you. I know this might sound oversimplified, but bear with me and really think about it. How many times have you allowed a toxic person's words to get under your skin, making you question your own worth or wonder if you're the one at fault? They make it seem like you're the problem. But guess what? You're not. The truth is, toxic behavior is a reflection of the person engaging in it, not of you. It speaks to their inner conflicts, insecurities, and their inability to take accountability for their own actions. Have you ever noticed that toxic people often lash out when they're feeling insecure or stressed? Maybe something went wrong in their personal life, or they're dealing with unhappiness in their own circumstances. Instead of owning their feelings or addressing their problems, they project that negativity onto you. They'll twist the facts and try to make you believe that you are the source of all the issues. But in reality, they're simply looking for someone else to blame for their own emotional baggage. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism can be incredibly helpful. The Stoics taught us a powerful lesson. We cannot control the actions of others, only how we choose to respond. Toxic people want to provoke you. They want to stir up your emotions because that's how they keep control. But once you understand that their actions have nothing to do with you, you gain the power to rise above it. You can let go of unnecessary guilt, stop second-guessing yourself, and stop feeling the need to fix them. Here's the hard truth. You can't fix them. The only person you can truly protect is yourself. Whenever they try to drag you into their emotional chaos, remind yourself of this truth. This isn't about me. You are not their emotional punching bag, their therapist, or their scapegoat. Their struggles are theirs to handle, not yours. When you let go of the weight of their manipulation, you free yourself to live with more peace and clarity. Number 3, establish clear boundaries. Now that you've identified toxic behavior and understood that it's not about you, it's time to take a crucial step, setting clear, firm boundaries. When I say boundaries, I don't mean vague, flexible lines that can easily be crossed. No, I'm talking about strict, non-negotiable rules that you set for yourself to protect your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. These boundaries are essential for keeping peace in your life. And here's why. Toxic people despise boundaries. They don't want limits because those limits take away their ability to control you. Here's the thing. The reason toxic people push at your boundaries is that they're testing you. They want to see how much they can get away with. It might start small, constant texts or phone calls at all hours, interruptions during your work, or demands for your attention when you need your own space. But before you know it, these small infractions will grow. You'll find yourself sacrificing your time, your energy, and even your mental health just to keep them happy. But guess what? You don't owe anyone your energy. Your time, peace, and emotional well-being are invaluable, and you have every right to safeguard them. Setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's absolutely necessary. You have the right to say no without guilt, without providing an explanation, and certainly without fear of retaliation. Let's get into a simple but powerful boundary. Stop justifying yourself. Toxic individuals love to drag you into long explanations. They'll ask why you don't want to do something, why you're acting the way you are, or even accuse you of not caring about them. They'll use guilt, manipulation, or even anger to try to make you justify your decisions. But here's the truth. You don't need to justify your boundaries to anyone. The next time someone tries to cross a line, simply say, "This is what I need," or "I'm not available for that." Keep it simple, firm, and without elaboration. The more you stick to your boundaries, the more they'll realize they can't manipulate you. Eventually, they'll either adjust their behavior or move on to someone else who's more willing to tolerate their nonsense. Number 4, master the art of non-reaction. Here's where things start to get interesting. This next step involves taking back significant control, mastering the art of non-reaction. Toxic people thrive on your emotional reactions. They know how to push your buttons to get a rise out of you. Because honestly, they live for the drama. Every time you react, whether it's anger, frustration, or even sadness, you're giving them exactly what they want: power over your emotions. But here's the game-changing truth. You have the power to stop them in their tracks. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control others' actions, we can always control our responses. Picture this. You're in the middle of an argument with a toxic person. They're throwing accusations, insults, and blame your way, hoping to provoke a reaction. Now, imagine you don't engage. Imagine you stay completely calm, unemotional, and completely uninterested. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But trust me, it's one of the most powerful moves you can make. When you stop reacting to their nonsense, you strip them of their power. Without your emotional engagement, they can't control you. I know it's not easy, especially when they're pushing all your buttons. But non-reaction is like building an emotional fortress around yourself. The more you practice it, the less their words and actions will impact you. So, the next time someone tries to provoke you, take a deep breath, pause, and remind yourself, I don't need to engage. You can offer a neutral response like, I hear what you're saying, or I'll think about it, and simply walk away. You don't owe them your emotional response, and you certainly don't owe them your peace of mind. Number 5, use the gray rock method. Let's take a deeper dive into one of the most powerful techniques when dealing with toxic people who thrive on drama, the gray rock method. This strategy is a total game changer when you're up against someone who seems to live for chaos. Toxic individuals crave attention. They thrive on controlling the narrative. And above all, they feed off your emotional reaction. They want to see you upset, defensive, or engaged in their drama. So, what do? You turn it to a gray rock, boring, emotionless, and totally uninteresting. Now, imagine this. You're in a situation where a toxic person is trying to stir things up, perhaps by making passive-aggressive comments or attempting to drag you into an argument. Instead of reacting with frustration, anger, or even passive submission, you become completely unresponsive like a rock. You keep your responses as neutral and emotionless as possible. You don't give them any excitement or fuel to work with. They're expecting a dramatic reaction, a fight, or an emotional breakdown, but you give them nothing. No energy, no emotion, no drama. You respond in the most boring and unengaging way possible. Why does this method work so well? Toxic people thrive on drama and conflict. Their primary objective is to elicit a reaction from you because that's how they maintain control and manipulate you. When you react emotionally, you feed into their need for drama, and they use it to keep you stuck in their toxic web. But when you become like a gray rock, emotionless and disinterested, they lose interest. Why? Because there's no reaction to provoke, no chaos to feed off of. They'll either change their behavior because they're no longer getting what they want, or they'll move on to someone else who will engage in their toxic game. The gray rock technique isn't about being passive, allowing yourself to be mistreated, or shrinking back. It's about maintaining control of your own emotions and protecting your inner peace. You are refusing to engage in their toxic drama and denying them access to your emotional energy. It's about staying detached and choosing not to give them the power to upset you. Over time, when you practice the gray rock method, you'll find that toxic people lose their grip on you because their manipulations no longer work. So, the next time someone tries to drag you into a situation where they want to provoke a reaction, remember the power of the gray rock. Stay calm, stay neutral, and watch how quickly the dynamic shifts. When they see that you are completely unfazed and unreactive, they'll either stop the behavior or lose interest altogether. And that's how you take back control. Number 6, the broken record technique. Toxic people can be relentless. They don't take no for an answer, and they have an uncanny ability to push, manipulate, and guilt trip until they get what they want. It doesn't matter how many times you've told them no. They will keep coming back with more requests, more demands, or more manipulation. They try to wear you down, to break your resolve, and to make you feel guilty for not giving them what they want. It's exhausting, and it's designed to make you question yourself. This is where the broken record technique comes into play, and it is an incredibly powerful weapon in your self-care arsenal. The key here is consistency and unwavering repetition. Instead of engaging in a heated debate, trying to justify yourself, or explaining why you said no, you simply repeat your stance over and over. Like a broken record, here's how it works. Imagine someone asks you to do something that you clearly don't want to do, something that you've already said no to. Instead of giving an explanation, defending your position, or trying to soften the blow, you simply say, "I'm not comfortable with that." They push again, asking, trying to manipulate, or guilt trip you into changing your mind. But you don't budge. You calmly, but firmly, repeat, "I'm not comfortable with that." There's no emotion, no defensiveness, just a steady, repetitive assertion of your boundary. The brilliance of the broken record technique lies in its consistency. You are not engaging in a debate, and you are not allowing them to manipulate or twist your words. Every time they challenge you, you say the same thing, with the same calm, unwavering tone. You're not arguing, and you're not explaining yourself. You're simply asserting your right to say no. Over time, the toxic person will either realize that they cannot break through your wall, and they'll give up, or, more likely, they'll expose their true colors, showing that their attempts were nothing more than manipulation. This technique works wonders in close relationships where the toxic person feels entitled to your time, energy, or resources. It's not about being rude or cruel. It's about establishing and reinforcing your boundaries with clarity and consistency. Toxic people thrive on wearing you down and getting you to question yourself. But when you use the broken record technique, you're showing them that your boundaries are non-negotiable. Let's be clear, you don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace. Your boundaries are not up for debate, and you are under no obligation to justify them. When you stand your ground with calm, unwavering repetition, you take back your power and reclaim control of your emotional well-being. So, the next time a toxic person tries to push your boundaries, use the broken record technique. Repeat your stance with calm certainty, and watch how they either respect your boundaries or show their true, manipulative intentions. This technique is simple, yet incredibly effective in ensuring your peace remains unshaken. Number 7, a tough truth. Some people are just bad for you. One of the toughest realities you'll have to face is that some people are simply bad for you. No matter how much you love them or how long you've known them, they bring nothing but negativity into your life. The more time you spend with them, the more drained and unhappy you become. Toxic people are emotional parasites. They feed off your energy, kindness, and attention. But here's the truth. You don't owe them anything. Not your time, not your emotional energy, and definitely not your mental health. Sometimes, The most powerful thing you can do is limit your exposure to toxic people. I know cutting ties or creating distance can feel incredibly difficult, especially if the person is a family member, a longtime friend, or someone you deeply care about. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Your well-being must come first. If someone consistently makes you feel small, stressed, or emotionally exhausted, it's time to put some distance between you and them. It doesn't mean you don't care about them. It means you care enough about yourself to protect your peace. Limiting exposure to toxic individuals can take different forms. It can mean seeing them less often, keeping conversations brief, or steering clear of sensitive topics that trigger their toxic behavior. If the person is a coworker, you might choose to limit interactions to strictly professional matters. If it's a family member, it could mean setting firm boundaries about when and how you engage with them. You can still be polite and respectful while guarding your energy. After all, your mental health is priceless, and toxic people do not have the right to rob you of it. Number 8, build your support system. One of the most manipulative tactics toxic people use is isolating you from others. They'll subtly, or not so subtly, undermine your relationships, making you feel like they're the only ones you can count on. Over time, they chip away at your self-confidence, making you question your judgment and distance you from the people who genuinely care about you. This isolation tactic is how they maintain control, feeding off your dependency and keeping you stuck in their toxic web. But here's the empowering truth. You don't have to do this alone. Building a strong support system is one of the most effective ways to counter the influence of toxic people. Surround yourself with people who truly care about your well-being, who respect your growth, and who support your boundaries. Whether it's family, friends, or a community of like-minded individuals, having a solid network of support will make a world of difference in how you navigate toxic relationships. When you have people in your corner who truly lift you up, it becomes much harder for toxic individuals to tear you down. Your support system should consist of people who encourage you to become the best version of yourself, those who challenge you to grow, but in an empowering way, not one that drains you. These are the friends who call you out when you slip up, but they do it with kindness and understanding, not judgment. They're the ones who respect your boundaries, support your decisions, and never make you feel guilty for choosing what's best for you. When you're surrounded by a tribe of people who love and respect you, toxic individuals lose their grip because they can no longer control you through isolation. Remember, the stronger your support system, the weaker the toxic person's hold over your life. Find your people, lean on them, and let their positivity help reinforce your own inner strength. Number 9, prioritize self-care. Toxic people are exhausting. Whether it's emotional manipulation, constant criticism, or relentless negativity, they have a way of draining your energy and sucking the life out of you. That's why self-care isn't just a luxury, it's an absolute necessity, especially when you're dealing with these kinds of relationships. Think of self-care as your emotional armor. It protects you from the corrosive effects of toxic people, helping you maintain your mental, emotional, and physical health. Without it, you leave yourself vulnerable to burnout, resentment, and emotional exhaustion. So, what does real self-care look like when you're surrounded by toxicity? It's not just about bubble baths and spa days, though those can be helpful. 2. True self-care is about making deliberate choices that safeguard your well-being. It's about knowing when to say no without feeling guilty. It's about creating space for yourself to recharge, reflect, and recalibrate. Most importantly, it's about recognizing that your needs are just as important, if not more important, than anyone else's. Here's a hard truth. Toxic people will never prioritize your needs. They'll always expect you to put them first, to sacrifice your time, energy, and emotional well-being for their benefit. But the key is that you don't have to. You have every right to prioritize yourself, to protect your mental health, and to refuse to let their negativity drain you. Prioritizing self-care might look like taking breaks from social interactions, practicing mindfulness or meditation, or engaging in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Self-care also means recognizing when you've had enough. If a toxic person is pushing you to your limit, it's completely okay to step back, create some distance, and focus on your own healing. Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining inner peace. And self-care is the foundation of that peace. When you put your well-being first, toxic people lose their ability to control you because you no longer depend on their approval or validation to feel good about yourself. The moment you start investing in your peace, their influence begins to fade. Number 10, recognize you cannot fix everyone. One of the hardest truths you'll have to accept when dealing with toxic people is this: you cannot fix them, no matter how much you love them, no matter how much time and effort you invest, or how many sleepless nights you spend trying to understand their behavior. You are not responsible for their healing or growth. Toxic people often get stuck in patterns of manipulation, blame shifting, and control because it serves their needs, whether it's emotional validation, power, or simply the satisfaction of exerting control over others. The more you try to fix them, the more you become ensnared in their cycle of manipulation. The reality is, toxic people rarely want to change. They prefer the control they have, even if it's harmful to themselves and others. Have you ever tried helping someone only to realize that your efforts go unnoticed or unappreciated? Perhaps you've been in a relationship where no matter how much you bend over backward to accommodate the other person, you still feel like you're not doing enough. This is how toxic individuals trap you in a cycle of guilt and obligation. They keep you busy fixing them while they continue with their toxic behaviors. The truth is, they don't want to change, they just want you to keep trying. Here's your wake-up call: you're not their savior. You cannot save someone who doesn't want to be saved. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control other people, but we have complete control over ourselves. The only person you can control is you. When you stop trying to fix others and begin focusing on fixing your own boundaries and reactions, you'll find true freedom. You'll reclaim the energy you've been giving away to someone who never appreciated it in the first place. The moment you realize that you don't have to fix toxic people is the moment you break free from their manipulation. You deserve relationships where you are valued and respected, not ones where your emotional labor goes unnoticed and unrewarded. Focus on building connections with people who appreciate you for who you are and who respect your boundaries. These are the relationships that bring joy and fulfillment, not drain you. Number 11, use cognitive reframing. This is where the real mental shift happens. Toxic people have an uncanny ability to make you feel like the villain in their story. They twist situations, manipulate facts, and make everything your fault. This can leave you doubting your own worth, feeling confused, or even guilty for things you haven't done. But here's the truth: it's not about you. It's about them and their need for control, power, or validation. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control others, we always have control over our own perception of the world. This is where cognitive reframing becomes an invaluable tool to protect your emotional health and peace of mind. Reframing allows you to reinterpret an event or interaction in a way that helps you feel more empowered, less reactive, and ultimately more at peace. Let's say you're in an argument with someone who constantly criticizes you. Instead of internalizing their harsh words or allowing them to erode your confidence, you can practice reframing. In this case, their criticism isn't a reflection of your worth or character. It's a projection of their insecurities. It's about them feeling inadequate or threatened, not about your value as a person. By shifting your perspective, you take away their power to hurt you. You begin to see their toxic behavior for what it truly is, a defense mechanism rooted in their own fears and unresolved issues. Now, consider how often toxic people engage in gaslighting. They make you question your own reality, doubt your feelings, or even second-guess your sanity. It's all part of their manipulation to keep you off balance. But cognitive reframing gives you the mental space to step back and assess. Wait a minute. This isn't about me. This is their problem, not mine. When you mentally reframe their behavior as a reflection of their internal struggles, you regain control over your emotions and stop internalizing their toxicity. You stop absorbing their negativity and start protecting your own sense of self. Next time a toxic person lashes out, try this. Pause before reacting. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this really about me? Or is this a reflection of their unresolved issues and internal battles? 9 times out of 10, you'll realize it's the latter. This simple mental shift is a game changer. It helps you stop personalizing their actions, which makes it much easier to protect yourself emotionally and stay calm in the storm of their drama. By reframing the situation, you effectively create emotional distance from their attacks. You stop letting them manipulate your emotions, and you prevent their toxicity from taking root in your heart. Cognitive reframing isn't just about seeing things in a more logical light. It's about reclaiming your emotional power. It's about choosing to protect your peace, instead of allowing toxic people to cloud your perspective. The more you practice reframing, the stronger your emotional boundaries become, and the less influence toxic people have over you. Number 12, practice forgiveness for your own peace. This one might sound contradictory at first, but bear with me. Forgiveness is not about letting the toxic person off the hook or pretending their actions never happened. It's not about excusing their behavior, nor is it about reconciling with them if that's not in your best interest. Forgiveness is about releasing the emotional baggage you're carrying, anger, resentment, hatred, and freeing yourself from the grip of their toxicity. Here's the hard truth. When you hold on to negativity, when you allow anger and resentment to fester inside you, you're only hurting yourself. Think about it. While you're stewing over how someone wronged you, they've probably moved on with their life, unbothered. Meanwhile, you're stuck replaying the same painful memories in your mind, unable to shake off the emotional weight. That anger and resentment you're holding on to, it's not punishing them, it's punishing you. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism comes in. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught that we must learn to forgive not for the sake of others, but for our own inner peace. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting, nor does it mean accepting poor treatment. It means choosing to let go of the emotional grip that their actions have on you. It means freeing yourself from the mental and emotional prison of their toxicity. By forgiving, you're no longer allowing their behavior to define your happiness, your peace of mind, or your future. Forgiveness is the ultimate way of reclaiming your power. Here's how you can begin to put this into practice. Start small. Instead of jumping straight into forgiving someone for a major betrayal or hurt, start with the smaller offenses. Let go of the small irritations, the rude comment, the dismissive attitude, the passive-aggressive behavior. See how much lighter and freer you feel once you've let go of these minor annoyances. This process will gradually build your emotional resilience, and over time, it will prepare you to forgive even the bigger hurts. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation or allowing the person back into your life. It simply means choosing your peace over your pain. When you release the grip of resentment, you free up emotional space for growth, peace, and joy. Toxic people no longer get to live rent-free in your mind and heart. You're evicting them, starting today. And remember, forgiveness is for you, not them. It's an act of self-care. When you forgive, you're choosing to stop carrying the emotional burden that weighs you down. You're choosing to step into a life of freedom, where toxic people no longer dictate your emotional well-being. In summary, practicing forgiveness and cognitive reframing isn't about excusing toxic behavior, but rather about protecting your peace. These tools allow you to navigate difficult relationships with clarity, maintain emotional strength, and regain control over your own happiness. Number 13, when to walk away. Here's the final, and arguably the most powerful point of all. There comes a time when you have to walk away. It doesn't matter how long you've known them, how close you've been, or how much history you share. If someone continually disrespects your boundaries, manipulates your emotions, or drains your energy, it's time to walk away. Walking away is not weakness. It's the strongest, most courageous move you can make. It's the ultimate declaration of your worth. Toxic people will try to convince you that you're the problem. They will say you're abandoning them or giving up too soon. They'll attempt to twist your decision, turning it into a reflection of your failure or selfishness. But don't fall for their lies. The truth is, you've already given enough. You've fought long and hard to save a relationship that only serves to drain you. And now it's time to choose yourself over everything else. Imagine being in a toxic romantic relationship where your partner constantly undermines you, insults you, or makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells every single day. You pour out love, effort, and time, but nothing changes. The hurt lingers, the disappointment deepens, and you feel smaller with each passing day. No matter how hard you try, no amount of love can fix this. The healthiest thing you can do is walk away. Yes, it's not easy. There will be guilt, sadness, and a deep fear of the unknown. The uncertainty of life after the relationship may shake you to the core. But here's the truth. Nothing is worth sacrificing your mental and emotional health. The cost of staying is far greater than the fear of walking away. Walking away is not just an act of leaving. It's about reclaiming your life, your peace, your joy, your future. It's about refusing to allow toxic people to have power over you any longer. You deserve to be in environments that nurture your soul, not ones that suffocate it. You deserve relationships that lift you up, not tear you down. Here's the bottom line. You cannot heal in the same environment that's making you sick. If a relationship, whether with a partner, friend, or family member, is toxic, it's time to walk away. Not every relationship can be saved, and that's okay. Walking away is not about giving up. It's about choosing to live life on your own terms. It's about creating space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships to enter your life. You are not obligated to tolerate toxicity, no matter where it comes from. Walking away is an act of self-preservation and profound courage. You're choosing your well-being over someone else's dysfunction. You are making the decision to live freely, to stop being a pawn in someone else's game. That's the greatest gift you can give yourself. To wrap it all up, dealing with toxic people is one of the most difficult challenges you'll ever face. But it is also one of the most empowering journeys you will undertake. By applying these 13 Stoic-inspired strategies, identifying toxic behavior, setting boundaries, mastering non-reaction, practicing forgiveness, and ultimately walking away, you take back control over your emotional and mental well-being. Remember, you're not responsible for fixing toxic people. You don't owe them your energy or your peace. You are responsible for yourself, and that is your greatest power. These principles will not only protect you from toxicity, but they will also guide you in becoming the strongest, most resilient version of yourself. You deserve relationships that nurture and uplift you, not ones that drain and deplete you. You deserve peace. And with these strategies, peace is within your reach, no matter how toxic the people around you may be. If this video resonated with you, and you found these insights valuable, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel for more empowering content like this. I'm committed to helping people break free from toxic relationships and live healthier, happier lives. If you feel moved to support the channel further, consider joining our channel memberships. Every membership helps us continue to create content that empowers people like you to take control of their lives and find peace in a world that often feels full of chaos. Whether you subscribe or become a member, both are incredible ways to support this channel and help spread these life-changing messages. Let's build a community of emotional warriors who refuse to be controlled by toxic people. You deserve peace, and together, we can create it. Thanks for watching.